Hey, welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Dead in Vinland. It's the Speedrun edition. Yes, we're gonna cram this video in pretty quickly. Actually, you know what? It's a double header edition. It's also the don't bump the mic or speak so loudly into the mic edition. Watching back the last video, I apologize for the offensive level of. I was adjusting this homemade pop filtered screen thing, and I was moving the mic a lot and speaking quite loudly and aggressively into the mic for the vast majority of the episode. But you know what? I enjoyed the sort of simple, moving through the map, procking certain things without necessarily reading every little bit of translated text. And as a result, I do believe we will have another similar such episode today. We're going to first check on our characters here, because maybe I'm going to let everybody rest up and kind of recover. Injury, depression. Yeah, we'll just let... how's Nut doing? If Nut's okay, we can let him handle that. Nut's not looking too bad. We'll let him scratch at those, or mine at those scratched rocks there. And, yeah, he's fine. Actually, even Tomo's doing alright. Yeah, it's the speedrun edition because I do have to keep this at 20 minutes. I've got to... I think I've already talked kind of ad nauseum about what's going on. So yeah, I think you can fill in the blanks. I'm moving around the 100 feet. We moved some furniture yesterday, and I'm gonna move some small stuff on my own today, and then move some more big stuff tonight, and then the last of the big stuff tomorrow. So yeah, that was easy. I'm under the gun, so to speak, kind of. That is so cool. We're gonna read this one because it's a tied corpse here. You notice a body hanging from a tree branch, too high to be reached, mixed up in ropes and twisted in a very odd position. It's the body of a woman who was certainly very beautiful before she died. The ties that hold her are so tight they cut her flesh, showing some bloody wounds. Furthermore, her body is partly covered by mold, which indicates that the corpse has been here for a long time. Do bodies mold? Your eyes are suddenly attracted by a bright color, contrasting with the dull complexion of the body, and you notice a scarlet apple in her mouth. Wow. Check the surroundings. Oh my god. Parvana the intelligent one, and Moira the intelligent one. You decide to look around. This may allow you to understand what happened here, and maybe you'll find some interesting things you will be able to bring to the camp. Oh, jeez. All the ones we... Unfortunately, despite your search, you can't find anything interesting. God dang it. Come on. You decide to look around, examine. Parvana will get it done. I have total faith. There we go. As you look around, you see that several arrows were planted in trunks. But this doesn't look like a battle. It's rather a training field. Someone who, without a doubt, was trying to master archery and shoot at trunks to get better. Was this someone, the woman who's dead now? You will never find out. But you're sure about one thing. There's something odd about those arrows. You meticulously observe the arrows, and most especially their placement in the trunk. There's a mystery with those arrows. You feel like they're hiding something, and you want to find out what it is. You step into the shooter's shoes, and you try to find out where they were at that moment. After many tries, you end up placing yourself in front of the body. The distance and the angle of fire seem to match. Now, the shooter was here, but what was their target? The body? Yes, but certainly not the bottom. The arrows would be on the ground in that case, and not in the trunk. So the top part of the body was the target, but you need to discover which part, probably the apple part. That's when you notice an apple in the body's mouth. All of a sudden, an idea crosses your mind. Strong, swift, obvious. What if the target was the apple? What if you tried to shoot in it? Shoot the apple. You step in front of the body that seems to be observing you with glassy eyes. Without a caring about it, you notch an arrow and aim for the fruit. There's barely a thin space between the victim's teeth where the apple is. You're going to have to be accurate. But why are you doing this exactly? You don't even know yourself, but your guts are telling you to do it, and you're utterly convinced that you have to listen to them. Thank you, Eirik. You're so focused that you've stopped breathing. Time seems to have stopped. An eternity seems to have passed when you release the arrow that blazes right into the apple. You're pretty satisfied with your shot. You look around you, waiting for something to happen. However, nothing. You didn't really know what to expect, but certainly something else than nothing. Disappointed, you turn around, and as you walk away from the body, you hear a laughter behind your back. You turn around and you're astonished. It's the body itself. You've awoken him from his eternal sleep, and you know it will have consequences. The body laughs so much that the apple in its mouth falls on the ground, so it calms down. It turns its white eyes into yours and starts talking with a spectral voice. When you stride across the fire mountain, find the home of the night beings. That's where you'll find what you're looking for. Then after those words, the body goes back to being silent. You stay still for a long time and don't dare moving, frozen by horror after what you've just seen. Then, when you understand the body won't move anymore, you head back to the camp, upset by what has just happened, but you keep in mind what you've been told. So is this going to show up in our quests? No. Okay, that was very peculiar. We'll bang out one more and then we'll call it an evening here. Fruit and leaves. A heap of leaves. Medicinal herbs, okay. So yeah, moving. Blah blah. We've talked about that ad nauseum. It's what's focusing my entire life right now, though, and so I apologize for that. But it's what's for dinner, so to speak. It's on the menu, and it's what's going on around here. And I mean, that's 5 intelligence. Wow. Disarm the trap. Okay. Agility is not the greatest, but better than nothing. Unless we can choose the intelligence roll. No, it's the agility roll. Oh, we got it. Lucky us. And when I say, it's what's occupying front and foremost my mind, that's actually a lot. I got a lot of irons in the fire, so to speak. Once you're at the bottom, you pick up the bones that cover the ground. Take care of the animal. You cut it up to get its skin and some meat. Too bad it's so small. That's what she said. Okay. Very interesting. This fishing spot thing again. Let's dive. Let's dive. Let's let our Moira do some diving here. Search the waterbed there, Moira. Find us a luck charm thing, or what do we need? Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. Too easy. A horn trapped in ice. Would you say that ice is horny? We did one of these before. It was kind of a trick. I can't remember what the trick was, though. So let's cook the food. I know we got a bunch of picked up a bunch of meat. So, oh my God, we have a ton of meat. %. We'll dry the fish. 2 more fish we can get. So we'll go over here and we'll take off 2 of these. We'll feed the dog all that meat. Yeah, that's fine. And then we'll do that. And then we got 8 and 6 coming in. 73, so we'll have to jack up the fire. It's fine, and we'll call it there. Yeah, so like I said, irons in the fire is kind of, it's more of a personal thing that I'm trying to do. A little bit of a hobby deal, and then also a little bit of a, it's not really a hobby. I said that because it masks what it is, right? Haha, mystery and deceit. Because my hobby right now is the YouTube thing and the I'm actually gonna make the house where we're moving, the 100 feet away, kind of like my pet project, in terms of not even home renovation or anything. It just more I don't even want to say design because I'm not really designing it. I want to take a little extra steps to make it extra fabulous. As strange as it's hard to like I said, we've been in this house 10 years, and in those 10 years I didn't really take any time to make the place personal, if that makes any sense. Which it probably doesn't, because it doesn't really make sense as I'm saying it. But like for instance, it took, I think, like the first 4 or 5 years, 5 years actually, 5 years for sure, before I replaced the trim in the house. And you might say, well, you don't replace trim every day. Did our fire go out? Our fire went out. Oh, that's hilarious. Thank God we've got Tinder. But yeah, like the kids were young when we moved in. Like our youngest is literally 10, so she's been here forever, and so we like. I never put a lot into being meticulous about this house, because it was just like a young family is hard on a house, you know, slamming doors, banging into baseboards, little grubby hands on the walls and the trim, and things get gross, and you know, you keep it up so you're not living in filth, obviously. I mean, we don't live in filth by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just there's not a lot of, you let a lot of things slide, and this is going to be a little bit different. You know, once I get everything painted, and I'm going to make sure that every piece of trim is exactly how I want it, cut, painted, you know, every little bit of finishing. If it isn't already how I want it, it's going to end up how we want it, and that's just the way it's going to be. So that's going to be kind of my hobby, you know, between during my seasonal retirement here, between the YouTube stuff and the animating. I have been animating off screen. It's just not been on the channel because nobody cares about it. But I'm going to get back into that, so I end up with more of a schedule. I had a very nice schedule going when I was animating on the channel. So we will be resuming with that once everything is no longer, you know, up in the air and confusing. Scavenging and wisdom, eh? But yeah. Oh yeah, and the reason, you know, well, you know, people don't change trim every 5 years. What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is we hated the trim. It was like this really thick, like full. Think of like you go to, what do you guys have where you live? Throw a stone, starts to crackle, blue dust. We need something else. Salt. Fire dies abruptly, no visible reason. Did we get any ancient knowledge for that? Small tablet. More ancient knowledge. Nice. So we go stone and we go salt. We're going to do that on the other one, and then we'll have more ancient knowledge. So, yeah, think of like... I guess, well, we have Home Depot. Well, I don't have Home Depot here in small town Canada, but we have Home Depot in Canada. So think of going to Home Depot and picking up like a 1x6 or a 1x5 or a 1x4, I guess. Was it 6 inches? I can't remember. And putting that up as trim, like it was, and it was like it wasn't the edges, they weren't angled, they weren't mitered properly, so it was just kind of butted up, and then the top one overhanged the bottom, the vertical pieces, and it looked like a barn or something. It was very strange, and we lived like that for a long time because, you know, what was the point of going out of my way to gussy it all up exactly when the kids were just banging into it with walkers and their toys, and it didn't matter. It was not a priority. And as we got older and a little bit more particular about our surroundings and what we wanted out of our home, we changed the trim and we repainted everything, because we knew the kids weren't just going to sneeze on the wall, or they colored on walls. I know you're not supposed to let that happen, and we didn't let it happen. It was just, you know, even just as an accident sometimes, you know, things sometimes happen. But yeah, so basically it's the house, as the family matures, so too does the house. And now that we're going into a new house, it seems like, you know, as good a time as any to make it a mature house and kind of give these kids a kick in the butt towards maturity. Although you don't want to rush that stuff, because like the old idiom says, you know, the days are long but the years are short, and that is incredibly accurate when you're dealing with family, your own family. So for those of you out there who don't have kids yet, and if you ever do, remember that the days are long, but the years are short. It goes by fast, and you end up at one point kind of looking around you saying, where the hell did it all go? And so you want to make sure that you know, if your house and the things that you around you are the vehicle of your life, so to speak, you want to make sure it's in good running order. So the new house is going to be in good running order. I'm going to keep it clean and maintained in such a way that that I can be proud of. And yeah, see, does this keep changing depending on who is most injured? I don't know. Let's start gearing up for battle. Not this video, because we're 18 minutes. Like I said, 20 minutes is my max. But we are going to take on this guy in the next one. I'm pretty sure we've got the perks for it. Some min damage, accuracy, crit, and health for Kari. Maybe we'll make another health and another damage resist, so that everybody gets one. He's still on that, is he? He didn't finish that? Or I just set it up at the end of the day, I guess. Yeah, so that's fine. So yeah, that's all. That spiel was just for telling you that what my hobbies are. And so that's what I mean by irons in the fire, you know. It's and it really all kicked in when we started painting and putting in the new floor. We ripped up a bunch of carpets and stuff at the 100 feet away place, and you know, it was like, you know what, I can turn this into, I've got the time, I can turn this into something that will be enjoyable to live and streamlined. I feel like our house here, again, we're not living in filth, we're not hoarders, but it feels claustrophobic, and I don't know if it's just because it's so small compared to where we're headed. But yeah, it's like I want a streamlined, sort of minimalist approach that I don't know if we're necessarily going to get, but I'm going to be aiming towards that. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this this condensed speed running episode. Oh, your continued support is always appreciated. Yeah, I'll be coming back. I hope to be able to say I'm coming back after the move, but that's not the case. It's going to be a couple of days yet. But until then, thanks very much. See you soon.